Warm welcome to BKFC President David Feldman.
I'd love to have seen a couple years back Tyson Fury. I think he would have been great for this sport.
How's everything going with Conor? He's obviously been going through a lot of personal issues.
He understands what needs to be done, and he's going to do that. And get back to work, get back to training, get back to promoting, and get back to just getting his life back and focusing.
There seems to be such a smooth transition for fighters to come from the UFC and come fight for you guys. What's the relationship like with Dana? I mean, Conor's obviously still a UFC fighter as well.
There isn't much of a relationship. It's not a bad relationship by any means. It's not like we're best friends or anything like that. What Jake Paul has done is second to none. Nobody's ever been able to do what he's done.
In bare knuckle, Ilia Topuria. How cool would it be to see him one day?
Look, there's a little feud. We got a guy, Conor McGregor, and you got Ilia Topuria. Imagine those guys banging it out in bare knuckle. I mean, it would be unbelievable.
Is it true you want to do a tournament for $25 million in prize money?
We're almost.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to BKFC President David Feldman. David, what an exciting time for the company. I've seen the journey. Are you enjoying life at the moment? How's everything going?
I mean, I'm enjoying life. I'm growing a hell of a company. I'm growing a hell of a sport, but there's a lot of hard work and behind the scenes things that people don't see that you deal with in building something like this. And, it's not something that I wish on many people.
Do you take time to kind of enjoy the achievements, or is it always just like on to the next thing, putting out the next fire?
Now, you know what it is it's we keep building this thing bigger and bigger. So then I talked about this today. You build this really big shoe, right? You build this really big shoe. Now you got to fill that really big shoe, right? And there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. So there's not a lot of time to enjoy things. I mean, when we have a hell of an event or a hell of a signing or we get a new deal, we definitely take time to let that sink in a little bit. But we're in a really fast and furious growth mode right now, and we don't have a lot of time to reflect on that, except just think of what really is coming next. Our mission is a little different than some other people. Our mission isn't just to do some shows and make some money. Our mission is really to take over combat sports, and we think that we're well on our way of doing that.
Do you think you struck at the perfect moment? People really seem to love bare knuckle fighting, even though it's been around for centuries. It's a modern thing that you've done with it.
Yeah, man, it's definitely timing, right? In life, timing is everything. And I think the time was so perfect and so right for this. It just came at the right time. I mean, I worked on this for 9 years trying to get it legal prior to this, and it wasn't the right time for it. And the time hit, it struck, and people were in a mindset that they were allowing themselves to listen a little bit more and understand what we were building, and the fans are into it. And like you said, timing was right, and timing is everything, and the time was right for BKFC.
I've commentated on Burmese bare knuckle boxing with Sean Wheelock, actually, and that is old school. I mean, yeah, like I said, it goes back centuries. You guys have had two Muay Thai legends over in Asia. Is that something you think about, the history? We've seen like the history of bare knuckle where I'm from in England, right? I mean, it goes back. People were doing that in the Victorian times. Is that something that you pay homage to sometimes?
I mean, look, you have to pay slight homage to it, and we have to, but it's not something that I pay a lot of attention to. I'm really just focusing on making the sport for today's clientele, for today's fans, for today's short attention span people, right? They have a very short attention span, and to give them what they want, give them something fun, something exciting, something engaging, something relatable. We give them that with BKFC. So, I mean, at the same time that we're paying homage to, where this thing started, we have a whole different vision for where it's going to end up in the future.
Who's the biggest success story for you in your organization?
I mean, there's been a lot. I mean, you would have to, if you're going to go over a big name, you would have to say Mike Perry. Mike Perry is a guy who, was the UFC chose not to re-sign him, and he came over here, and he went from making 100,000 or 115,000 a fight to making millions of dollars. And I think that that's a great success story on a higher level. On a little bit lower of a level, and he became one of our champs and one of our guys is a Lorenzo Hunt, will say, right? He was 2-5 as a professional MMA fighter and ended up being one of the best BKFC fighters in the entire world. So there's a lot of cases like that around. There's a lot of guys. And the thing that I do when I get open up into a new territory with a new commission, I tell them, I say, do me a favor and please don't pay attention to the purses. I mean, the records so much, because you could be like, like Lorenzo Hunt, 2-5 in MMA. You get choked out 5 times, but you knocked out both guys you beat, right? That tells me, hey, I think you can be a bare knuckle fighter because you can stand and bang. So let's give you a shot. So I just try to get people not to pay attention to their previous records as much as they have to in their current record for this particular sport.
Do you have a dream signing? Can I put a name out to you that I just think would be epic in bare knuckle? Ilia Topuria. How cool would it be to see him one day?
I love it. I mean, class guy, very respectful, can fight his ass off, trains his ass off, does everything right, nothing but respect for him. I mean, it would be amazing. I mean, imagine, look, there's a little feud. We got a guy, Conor McGregor, and you got Ilia Topuria. Imagine those guys banging it out in bare knuckle. I mean, it would be unbelievable. I mean, that's something that, who knows what can happen there. But I mean, yeah, I would love to see him. I would love to have seen a couple of years back Tyson Fury. I think he would have been great for this sport. There's a lot of guys that came up, in the past couple of years that I think would have been tremendous. But what we're going to focus on right now is really building guys inside the organization, building them into stars, like making our guys 12-0, 15-0, and then turning them into stars that everybody wants to see fight. That's our real focus right now for 2025, and I think that's what we're going to really concentrate on.
Warren versus Richmond's coming up. What's your thoughts on that one?
We're going to see it. It's a real crossroads fight. If you ask me, it's if Mike Richmond loses in a bad manner, I think that he's done fighting. And if Jared Warren wins, it means a whole lot for him. If Jared Warren loses, I don't think people are going to say too much about it. And Mike Richmond, he's coming off of a couple losses and then another win. And the question mark is, did he not train as much as he should have? Was he not really focused and not really dedicated? And talking to him 2 days ago, he said, I'm more dedicated than I've been in 2 years. I'm training harder than ever. I'm excited for that fight. I'm really, really excited for that fight. I could never pick a winner in that fight, but I'm very, very excited for it.
I'm excited for Alvarez versus Stevens. It doesn't get better than that. The press conference was pretty spicy too. What was your reaction to that? And what kind of fight do you expect?
Yeah, in their press conferences, sometimes you can get a little bit of heat back and forth, and sometimes you can get guys praising each other. And although they're great athletes that both deserve a lot of praise, it was good to see that they had a lot of heat for each other. I mean, 2 guys, they only have 1 gear, and that's going forward. It has to be an exciting fight. I think that this smack talk is going to really get going as this fight gets closer. It's in my hometown of Philadelphia, my first fight in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. I just got alert today. We just hit over 10,000 tickets with, I don't know, 7 weeks to go. And our goal is 17,000 to break the combat sports record there in that facility. And I think we're going to do it. And, that's pretty remarkable for us. And we couldn't be any happier.
You can't help but reference Rocky, one of my favorite movies of all time. And what that movie did for making people put on a pair of boxing gloves was maybe incalculable. Would you like to see something similar with bare knuckle, a movie like that? I mean, I think of Snatch when I think of bare knuckle a lot of the time, the Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, man, look, we don't get into the whole story of this a lot, but we came from nothing. And when I tell you nothing, we had nothing. We clawed, we climbed, we fought for every single thing we got. We never had a big company come in and say, hey, here's 100 million, here's 50 million, go build this company. It was, where do we find the money for the next fight? Where do we find the money for the next fight? And how do we do the next fight? And we just clawed our way all the way up to the top. I say that because it is a Rocky story in and of itself. I mean, it really, truly is. We were the guy, that nobody thought was going to make it, that nobody thought could last, that nobody thought was going was going to ever see the top. And here we are. I'm not saying we're the tops of combat sports, but you don't have a real serious conversation of combat sports anymore without mentioning BKFC in it.
Is it true you want to do a tournament for 25 million in prize money?
Yeah, we're almost ready to announce that. I'm praying that it gets done and I can announce it next week. If not, we're going to announce it right after New Year's. It's gonna be about a 9 to 10 month tournament. It's going to be $25 million in prize money. It's going to be 1,000 contestants that are going to sign up for it, and it's going to be the most amount of fighters and the biggest prize money ever in a fighting tournament. It's going to be the world's baddest man.
You mentioned having different stresses at the top of the interview. How's everything going with Conor? He's obviously been going through a lot of personal issues. Is he wanting to get back to work with BKFC?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to really get into his personal troubles here. What I am going to say is we never missed a beat at all. We kept communicating. He understands what needs to be done, and he's going to do that. And we're going to continue forward with him.
He talked about fighting Floyd Mayweather in bare knuckle. Is there anything to that? Could we ever see something like that happen? And he wants to compete in BKFC one day, right?
Yeah, he definitely wants to compete in BKFC. I mean, who wouldn't watch that fight? That would be amazing. But who knows? I mean, that's at very minimum a year down the road at very minimum. So who knows? We'll just take it as it comes with him. The most important thing is for him to put these troubles behind him, get back to work, get back to training, get back to promoting, and get back to what means the most right now, and that's just getting his life back and focusing.
There seems to be such a smooth transition for fighters to come from the UFC and come fight for you guys. What's the relationship like with Dana? I mean, Conor's obviously still a UFC fighter as well.
I mean, look, there isn't much of a relationship. It's not a bad relationship by any means. It's not like we're best friends or anything like that. I've never said a bad word about Dana or Hunter Campbell, because at the end of the day is what Dana did to take this sport and turn it into a global phenomenon, and then take the UFC into one of the biggest sports franchises in history, is nothing short of amazing. So, I mean, what are you really going to say bad about the guy, right? Everybody has their ups and downs in life, and everybody, can point fingers at somebody. But at the end of the day is the guy took nothing and made it into something unbelievable. And the whole team there, seems to be really cool with us, and we're as cool with them. And I don't need any animosity, man. I don't need anybody hating on me and anybody trying to, stop us. We try to work with them as much as we can. They've given us some fighters in the past that really helped our promotion, and if we can do the same back to them, we would.
We saw Borkow versus Sanchai, two icons of Muay Thai in the bare knuckle ring. So, what's the plans in Asia? Are we going to see more kind of high profile Asian fighters like that? What do you want to do over here?
Yeah, we're talking a lot more about Philippines this year. Philippines is definitely going to be one. We have some things going on right now in Cambodia that we're about to spike up as well. We did Thailand. We'll go back there, but not right now. We just want to grow the market somewhere else. The thing about Thailand is it's a great market because it's a fight market. But at the end of the day, it's so much fighting in Thailand. It's not like a novelty. It's not like, oh my God, there's another fight there. It's like, hey, there's another fight. There's another fight. There's another fight. So that's why we just give it a break for a little bit, come back to Thailand and blow it up there. But I mean, Southeast Asia is certainly a huge target for us. We'll start breaking the ground there in 2025, and I think we blow it open pretty good in 2026.
How aware are you of Cambodia? Because I've done a lot of fights over there. 40,000 people. The fight community there is unbelievably passionate. The Kunkamai fans, 40,000 every weekend. It's wild. How aware of you of what's going on over there?
I mean, I obviously that's really the reason why we want to go there. We know that it's a wild fight scene. We know that Conor McGregor is really liked over there in Cambodia, and we thought that would be a good plus there as well. And there's a lot of great fighters there, so we thought, why not? And we're going to do it. We're definitely doing it in 2025, probably getting towards May or June. And I think, for something like this, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see 100,000 there.
Wild. I'm excited for that one, man. You said that you used to have to kind of fight for every dollar, and now you might have a video game out. Does that just show you the levels of what you've achieved. Can you tell us a bit about that?
I mean, look, every step we take tells us the levels. It tells you that if you have a realistic dream or a realistic goal and you work your ass off and you don't let anyone tell you you can't do it and you don't take backward steps and you just figure things out, you can do anything in the world that you want to do. You really, truly can, if it's realistic. And we've been pushed back, we've been knocked down, we've been almost out of business 5 different times, and we just found a way every single time because I think that the vision and the dream is bigger than any setback that we've had or that we're going to have, and we're not going to stop until we get it to where we need to get it.
How do you feel about bare knuckle MMA? Masford, I spoke to him the other week. He was a little bit dismissive of BKFC. What is there a rivalry there? Do you like bare knuckle MMA as a sport?
I mean, it's okay. Look, it's not bad. It's like to me, it's very similar to just regular MMA. It's not as exciting as bare knuckle fighting, stand up fighting, only because I think the fighters are prone to take another fighter down faster when they get hit with a bare knuckle. That's all it is. But I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Masvidal or the organization. I don't have anything to say about any other organization. I mean, we're all out here trying to get fans in the seats and fans to watch us on TV. We're paying the fighters. We're paying the fighters good money. We all are, and we're trying to make something of ourselves and create a great promotion. So for me to just waste my time talking bad about somebody, it doesn't make any sense to me, man. And I wish them luck. I wish everybody luck, and if you work hard, you're going to achieve it. And we're working hard and we're trying to achieve as much as we can achieve.
That's a cool attitude, I have to say. You mentioned Mike Perry. What do you want to see next for him? Every fight's exciting for him, right? What's happening with him at the moment? Is there anything you can tell us?
Yeah, we'll have an announcement for Mike probably next week. If not, it'll be right after the new year. But we've got something really, really big we're working on that we've been working on for about 3 or 4 months now. And I think that we were able to dot the I's and cross the T's on the one part of it yesterday. And we're very, very close to it. I think it's an event and a fight that's going to get people really, really excited. Some people question Mike Perry because he fought Jake Paul. He didn't look that good. But, look, I mean, he didn't look that good in boxing. But, the thing is he doesn't do boxing. He does bare knuckle fighting. And it's a different sport. It really is. It's a different hurt sport. It's not as technical, meaning you can't move and dance as much as you can with the gloves on. And, it's more raw. It's more pure. And that's what Mike Perry is. He's a raw, pure fighter. And I think you're going to see the best of Mike Perry is yet to come.
Well, we saw Jake Paul fight Mike Tyson. As a fight promoter, what did you make of it?
I mean, look, everybody was saying, do you feel sorry for Mike Tyson a little bit because he had to fight at 58 years old, or did he just want to fight at 58 years old? And, people are saying the fight is rigged, the fight's fixed. It's not fixed. It was a real fight. You could see that Mike Tyson's legs weren't under him really after the first round. And the thing I respect most about Jake Paul through this whole thing is I do think getting into the later rounds, he could have ended the fight, and he chose to not do anything to the iconic Mike Tyson. And, I take my hat off to him for that. And look, love him, hate him, think he can fight, think he sucks, doesn't matter, man. What Jake Paul has done is second to none. Nobody's ever been able to do what he's done. So I take my hat off to him there too.
What would be your dream fight if I gave you any budget for BKFC?
Right now or anytime?
Right now.
I think I'd like to see, not just because he's with us, but I think it would be a very, very exciting fight. I think I'd like to see, and you mentioned him, I think Conor versus Jorge Masvidal would actually be a really, really intriguing fight to me, because two guys that like to stand up and bang, two guys that really believe in bare knuckle, and, two guys that the whole world wants to see fight.
I love that. I've been wanting that fight. 2019, I thought that was the biggest fight in the world to make. Made it in bare knuckle. It adds a whole new element to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a very good choice. And which boxer from any era do you think would have made a great BKFC champion?
Roberto Duran. I think he would have been sensational at this. Marvin Hagler, another guy that, he's at the end of his career now, but Manny Pacquiao, I think he would be really, really good at this. I think this is a sport that would fit him well.
Any chance we see? I mean, there's been rumors of him with all sorts of big fights. Any chance he'd take the gloves off?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, look, you never know, but it makes sense for us more here in America, and he can't fight in America right now, so it doesn't. I I don't see it happening.
Okay. It's been an absolute pleasure, David. You're the man. I appreciate it.
No problem, my man. Thanks for having me.